Hello and welcome to this presentation from Take Your Place. We are an organisation working with schools to encourage people to go to university or onto higher education of some kind. Today we're going to be talking about writing your personal statement. We're going to be going through what needs to go into a personal statement, some things you should probably avoid when you're writing a personal statement, and some of the good sources of information that you might want to look at when you're researching your personal statement. The thing to remember when you're writing your personal statement is that it is just that. It's a personal statement. It is unique to you and what you want to do. So basically what you're trying to say is what you want to study and why you want to study it. The other thing to bear in mind is that you only write one personal statement and that will be sent off to the 5 universities of your choice. Therefore, your choices need to be similar. You can choose 5 different courses at 5 different universities, but they need to be related in some way. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to write one personal statement that fits all these 5 different choices. So you need to think about that while you're researching your choices. Now, if I were with you in person today, we would be giving you a task during this presentation to start writing your personal statement. It's up to you if you want to take that challenge during this presentation, but I would urge you once you've finished it to actually just get pen and paper out and have a go at getting something down. Structuring a personal statement. There are 4 kind of key areas you need to think about. The first one is you need to have clear reasons for wanting to study your subject. And we're going to go through how you actually do this, but a clear reason why you want to study it. What do you want to study? Why do you want to study it? And if you're not sure, there's still time to do lots of research, and we'll come to that as well. You also need a paragraph of independent research. We're going to explain all this, but this basically shows that you've taken an interest in a particular topic, you've investigated it further. This shows that you're passionate about the subject that you're applying for. We also have an exploration of subject-related activities, and then a brief discussion of extracurricular activities. We're going to go through all of these in more depth throughout the presentation. So, your reasons for studying the subject. This is the kind of thing that admissions tutors see a lot of, and it's not great. So, let me read it to you. Since I was a child, I have found myself to be utterly fascinated by how science works. I do not have to look far to find the source of my love for science. Just glancing around the living room, my eyes fall upon a whole host of fascinating organisms. Seen and unseen, they create a brilliant miniature ecosystem with billions of tiny processes and reactions for me to sit and unpick. You might be sitting there thinking that sounds great, sounds like something Brian Cox might say. But the whole "since I was a child and I'm fascinated," they're not really telling us anything, and your personal statement really needs to tell the admissions tutor why you want to study. So these generalized cliches, we don't want them. So let's have a look at a better version. My main reason for wanting to study natural sciences is the enjoyment I get from grappling with new and complex ideas. In physics, I like studying the atomic scale and have developed an interest in quantum models which move beyond my current syllabus. In biology, I enjoy analysis on a larger scale, particularly experimental questions such as how to model the distributions of species on islands. This opening paragraph is better because it's much more to the point. It tells them exactly what they're interested in and why. And it also says that they've gone beyond their current syllabus with the quantum model. That shows that they are interested in something, and because they're interested, they found out more than just what they were able to find out in class. Then you need to move on to a paragraph of independent research. This independent research is something you can be doing now. You need to identify a focus. So you just need to find something that sparked your interest, some topic that you might have started doing in lessons before you had to finish school for the summer, and you just want to look into it a bit more. There's loads of information out there, so look into it. Why does this topic interest you? Think about the key points and then reflect on it. Think, what did you learn from your research? Did anything surprise you? Did your understanding or your opinion change in any way, and why? This will show the admissions tutor that you're able to do independent study, and that's a really, really key skill for university, being able to actually find things out for yourself. When writing your paragraph of independent research, it's a good idea to use the FAR method. FAR. Focus, analysis, reflection. Here's an example. I have developed an interest in human rights law and read the recent case of two women who were challenging the new law that immigrants wishing to join their spouses had to pass a pre-entry English language test. That's the focus. It's very clear, very concise. Moving on to analysis. One of the main legal issues centered on whether the new policy breached the applicant's right to a family life. I was struck by the level of uncertainty in the wording of the final judgment. Although the appeal failed, the judges stated that a significant number of future cases, for example, those in which immigrants had learning difficulties, would be likely to breach human rights. So they've shown that they did some research, they read something, and they looked at the wording. It really shows that they've analysed what they've been looking at. The reflection part. My research led me to reflect on the fact that the application of specific law depends on very subtle differences in the circumstances of different cases. That's really just one paragraph about a topic that they're interested in, but it tells the admissions tutors a lot about the student. You then move on to subject-related activities. So things you have done that are related to the subject that you want to study at university. So that can be anything. It could be work experience, it could be that you've attended a university lecture, or extra academic activities at school or out of school. In the current climate, I know that a lot of people have maybe not been able to complete work experience or go on summer schools, or things that they had been really looking forward to, and things that were going to help them with this research and these subject-related activities. It's okay to say that you had something organised, and unfortunately, due to coronavirus, it didn't happen. Still shows that you had taken the initiative, and had it not been for coronavirus, you would have been able to achieve some work experience. I'm sure you will still be able to find some other kind of subject-related activity that you can mention and talk about. Here's one, for example, about work experience. I recently set up and completed a week-long work experience placement at a local graphic design company. The experience gave me a real insight into the graphic design industry and reinforced my desire to study the subject at university. You might have spotted this is the before. So this again is a bit vague, and we could make it better. Here's the after version. During a work experience placement with a graphic design company, I was particularly interested in the challenges of creating clear infographics. To emphasize the most important information, I experimented with combining different hooks with a range of typographic fonts. I found that the most effective solution depended on creating a clear narrative within the image itself. The second paragraph there explains very clearly and in detail what they actually did at the work experience. Whatever you put in your personal statement, it needs to be clear and concise. It needs to have a reason to be there. You only get 47 lines of text, so you have to make sure that everything is there for a reason and everything adds something to your personal statement. Finally, you can talk about extracurricular activities. These can be things like Duke of Edinburgh, part-time jobs, anything that you've done, responsibilities in school where you might have done mentoring. Again, some of these might have been on hold recently, but you'll still have time to get some of these things done before you write your personal statement, before you finish it, or before you actually go for an interview. Think about what skills you gain from any of these activities and how these will actually help you while you're at university. So if you've had a part-time job, then you're good at time management and you can balance your work with outside activities. You probably also got really good communication skills. These are all things that you can talk about. They do need to be relevant to what you want to do at university. So here's another explanation of things you can talk about. In completing my Duke of Edinburgh Silver Award, I have developed skills in planning tasks and leading a team. So there you go, very clear what they actually achieved while they were completing their award. I speak 2 different languages, English and Portuguese, and this has given me a valuable perspective in understanding different cultures. So if you are lucky enough to be bilingual, then you have got that perspective and that understanding that you can talk about. During my A-levels, I worked in a busy shop and swam for the school team. By balancing these commitments with my studies, my ability in organising and managing my time has improved significantly. So again, another example of how you can show what you've been doing outside of school, what you've gained from it, and why it's relevant for university. So planning your own statement. As I said, if we were going to be doing this activity together face to face, now is the time I'd be asking you to start planning it. Now, everybody is different. Some of you might want to just start by listing things you'd want to include. Some of you might want to do a mind map. Some of you might think, I can't possibly write anything. And some people will just be able to sit and write a kind of stream of consciousness of everything you've ever thought of to do with your personal statement. Whatever works for you, start by planning. Please don't expect that you're going to be able to sit down and in one go write a perfect personal statement. It's not going to happen. Your personal statement will probably go through 3 or 4 drafts where you show it to other people, to your teachers, and they give you some feedback and you have to change things. It is a working document. You need to remember that and not get too precious about it. So if you want to give it a go right now, pause the video, give yourself 20 minutes and start writing a personal statement. So when you're getting ready to write your personal statement, it's very tempting to go online and look for examples of other people's personal statements. Now, this isn't a bad thing to do, but you need to remember that your personal statement is your personal statement. You shouldn't really be reading other people's and thinking, oh, I could put that in mine. You certainly shouldn't be copying and pasting from anything off the internet. UCAS uses some really advanced software. They put your personal statements through this plagiarism software and it will highlight text that has been seen in other personal statements. If you don't do something about that, it will go off to the university and all the bits that have been copied and pasted will be highlighted to the university and they will know that that work is not completely your own. So please do be aware of that and do be aware of the quality of what you're finding online. Anybody could put a personal statement on Student Room or somewhere like that and tell you it's good, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is. I would look on the UCAS website, on universities' own websites, and then I would also make sure that I was using academic journals and things like that, making sure that I was using good, reliable sources rather than just copying and pasting off the internet. One good place you can go to start your research is the Take Your Place website. There is a whole series of Year 12 university subject guides which we've been producing. We're adding to them all the time, so keep checking back if your subject isn't there. What we've done is put together some really great sources of information for you to have a look. So it might be a website, it might be a book to read, podcast to listen to, a film or a documentary to watch. These are all things that you can use to spark your topic of interest. So that's a really good way to help you with a bit of research and to help you have something that you can put into your personal statement. Thank you for listening to this presentation. It's been pretty short and sweet, and personal statements is actually a really big subject. So if you need to know more, then you can email us, cams@takeyourplace.ac.uk, and you will get forwarded to the particular higher education champion for your school. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, where we're there as Take Your Place. I wish you all the luck with your personal statement and enjoy it. Enjoy thinking about all the things that you're good at. Enjoy telling the university why you deserve a place. And if you can think about it in that positive way about this is something I want, this is what I'm going to do for my future, then it's going to help you to be able to come across as a very positive and interested student. And that's what they want. They want someone who's going to enjoy their course. So good luck writing it. It is going to take a while. It's not easy, but you can do it. Thank you for listening.